Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Invest for More, and I'm standing outside a house flip that we have been working on for a very long time. This one has had a couple of crazy things happen with it, and that's delayed us getting started on it and working on it, but we're finally in process here of remodeling it. So the remodeling work has started. We'll show you what's going on, what our plans are, and then we'll talk about the numbers too. So this is the one we bought from a wholesaler, and when we bought it, the wholesaler did not check to make sure the occupant was out before we sold it, and we did not either. So that wasn't just his fault, that was my fault too, where we should have checked the house before we bought it. I was being lazy, I didn't, and the owner did not move. So we had to go through an eviction. We evicted them right before kind of the coronavirus pandemic started. So we were able to do that eviction, and we'll link to that below. But they left a lot of different stuff. We weren't even sure if the guy had moved out or not, or if he was hiding somewhere in the house. But we did manage to get the house cleaned out. It was pretty disgusting and dirty. But after that, we had some other issues. So we decided to try and sell the house as is, had it under contract, went through that process, had appraisal issues, back and forth, and that didn't work out. So we took it off the market and then decided to fix it up. So that has caused us to hold this house months and months and months and months. And sometimes that happens, but it should still be a good deal. Now, of course, check out investformore.com for much more information on our flips, rentals, being an agent, all that good stuff. We appreciate the likes, so please like our videos. It helps us. And your comments help us too. So I just made a little post on the community page that talked about what kind of videos you guys want to see with a little poll. So if you haven't seen that post, that'd be cool if you go over there and let us know. Or you can just comment in this video too and say, hey, I'd love to see more of this type of video or more of that type of video, or some kind of crazy video we haven't done before. So just let us know. As far as numbers go, this house we bought for $165, I think, which is really, really cheap. So even though a few things have gone wrong and it hasn't worked out as well as we thought, we should still be fine on it. We had it under contract for right at $200,000. We were trying to sell it as is. That didn't work out. Now, after we remodel it, I mean, it should really be worth close to $300,000. So prices are pretty high. Prices keep going up. So while we made some mistakes and have held it a really long time, that actually won't be the worst thing in the world because prices have been going up. So you can kind of see windows are in. A lot of these walls are plaster. So we're trying to get away without re-sheetrocking the whole house, which I think we should be able to do. They're really not in bad shape, even though they're plaster. The hardwood will refinish. I think we're putting new doors and everything. And then the bathroom needs a fair amount of work. As you can see, it was all rotted, quite a bit of decay back there. So tore out everything. This is gutted. And then we'll redo all of that. You can see the plaster there. And then this room here, new windows, working on getting the walls okay. That you can see that's plaster, but then there's some sheetrock there too. So kind of a mix and match throughout this house of what it's got. And one thing too, I was gonna mention, this door. I can't walk through it without bending over. So I'm 6'1", and so we will put a different door in, raise that door up so it's normal size, like those doors. We'll have quite a bit of work to do in the kitchen too, which you can see right here. And like I said, we'll have a before video that shows what the house looked like before, maybe pan in some shots too. But we had a heck of a time getting this thing designed. And Nikki, my project manager, does the designing. It was kind of an L shape before. I know it's hard to see with all the junk in here, but there wasn't room, it's so narrow, to really get a dishwasher in there or Lazy Susan's. So eventually figured out just make it an L shape instead of a U shape. I think I might have said L shape before. It was a U shape before with cabinets on both walls. Now we're just gonna make it an L shape, so this wall won't have any cabinets, which gives us more space and more room to get everything in that we need. And you can also see up here that the ceiling used to be much higher. Used to be, a foot higher up there. And they built this wall out. So, we could go, oh yeah, we're gonna raise this ceiling. we're gonna take this wall out, but then you're doing all this more sheetrock work, more patching, more electrical work. It just adds to the cost. So while it'd be nice to have that extra foot, it's not necessary, and we won't go to the expense of doing all of that. I used to have a kind of a cool bench here, but we did get rid of it. It was pretty dirty and ugly, but had one of those built-in benches that go in the corner. That's still broken. The basement needs some work as well. And you can see we have the space heater in here right now. And that's something we need to figure out too, because this house does not have central heat right now. And you can see that's the furnace, which is like a floor furnace. And there's one vent in the living room, and that was to heat the whole house. So that's really not sufficient. I think there was a space heater right here. So what we're gonna do is either put in a central heating system, which would be pretty expensive, or there's a company who emailed me and said, hey, we do mini splits. We'd love to sponsor some of your videos. We'd like to give you some mini splits for free, and you can talk about them and how well they work, and you can talk about us in your video. I'm like, hey, that sounds like a cool idea. I've been trying to get Home Depot to sponsor me forever, and they won't do it. But anyway, so talked to them, told them about the house, drew a floor plan for them, went back and forth. They kept asking me for different stuff. I'm like, here you go. And then they just stopped responding to my emails. So I don't know if that means they don't want to give us mini splits for free anymore or what. But I was hoping we'd have a new solution, something to try, but it's not looking as good anymore. So obviously we need to get that heating figured out pretty soon before we get too far on the rehab, because depending on what we do, we may need to do some more work to the house. Here's the crazy black room. And then, look, we have one original door here. This crazy room had carpet on that wall before. We decided not to leave the carpet. It was kind of a toss-up. But we thought, probably not a good idea. So yeah, and if we do put central heat in the house, it's kind of like, well, where do you put the vents? Because this ceiling already is not super tall. It really cut into everything. So, loud, whatever that is. We'll have to figure out what to do for heat pretty soon, and that's probably on our list of stuff to do maybe today. So your laundry room right here, the beautiful sink. When I first bought it, it was full and leaking everywhere. And then we have the little storage room right back here. Putting in the new windows made such a massive difference because they were just old. You could barely see through them. It's so much lighter and brighter down here than it was before. And that is some kind of like well pit, we think, maybe. We're not even sure. So our plumber's here right now. I need to ask him exactly what that is, and maybe we'll mention it here in a second. But that's the house. We're getting work going on it. Quite a bit of, like I said, mechanical stuff with the HVAC, figuring that out. Needed some electrical work, needs some plumbing work. Windows, doors, kitchen, bathroom, quite a bit of work. So we're probably spending $50,000, $60,000 on this rehab pretty easily. Like I said, it should be worth in the $300,000 range. We'll have another probably $30,000 of other costs because we've held it so long. Whenever you hold a property for a long time, it increases all your holding costs, your financing costs, insurance costs, property taxes, utilities, all of those go up. So I talk about those in our complete before and after videos, exactly what those costs are. But just the longer you have a house, the more it costs you and the less money you usually make. Luckily, this was a fairly inexpensive house to buy in the first place. Most of our houses lately have been more than $200,000, even $300,000. So those are really good expensive when you hold those. All right. Something else we just saw is this was a smoker house for sure. When we first bought it, it smelled really bad. But you notice the outline on the ceiling there. And here, we're pretty sure that's what color the ceiling used to be before years and years and years of smoking. And they got stained that color from all the smoke. So that is pretty crazy. All right, so that's the property. We'll have more updates on it here soon. Hopefully getting closer here in the next week or two. In a month or so, maybe sooner, probably not. We'll have it listed and ready to go. All right, thanks for watching. Really appreciate the support. We love the likes, the comments, so keep those coming. Make sure you check out investformore.com for much more information on our flips, rentals, being an agent, and wholesaling. All right, take care. We'll be back with more soon.